So that must mean that something is going on, because people prefer to have this rather than that now. Hi Team Mindset, welcome to this new video in which Robert Kiyosaki explains to us that cash is currently dangerous and what you need to do to succeed in making money. Before we start, the best way to support the channel and show us that this is a topic you want to see more often is to smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Here is money, in other words, trash. Today we're going to talk about the hottest topic in the current market. And it's not real estate, and this is gold. And here is silver. And of course, there's Bitcoin. So those are the three things. Cash, bills, all of that is fake money. That's what we'll cover today. So Jimmy, how long have you been in the gold business? 50 years.
50 years.
Our time has come, hasn't it? Well, I thought it was going to happen in 1973 when I started working in the industry. That was only about 18 months after Nixon ended the gold standard. We must abandon the gold standard. The dollar was backed by this. This is the real goal. So in 71, they removed it. So at 781, that was locked down too. You can just print as much as you want. It wasn't backed by anything anymore. It's a Federal Reserve note, which is no more federal than Federal Express. We were forced to take this as money, whether we liked it or not. What's sad is that I think Americans are the ones who know the least about money. Because we are the Federal Reserve. I'll tell you, the last time I was in Peru, I bought a gold mine in Peru. And there were these holes, you know. There's no rain. It's just barren hills, mountains, the Andes. And I see those little holes up there. And I say to myself, what is that? You know, they tell me, well, we've been extracting gold here for thousands of years.
Thousands of years, asshole.
Do you remember that I told you this story the other night? I remember in 1964 when we were sitting around the TV, Johnson came on and said, silver has become too precious to be used as currency. And as I was sitting there, my father said, bastard. He wants to take away the silver and leave us with this junk change. And from that moment on, he saved silver coins until he had about $8,000 worth when he cashed them in around 1980. Let's talk about the dollar. Because they can print so much of it that its value decreases every day. They print billions every day. Look at the bills they've signed. Millions of billions of billions. And where does that money come from? They have to print it or create something by typing on a keyboard. That means all the other Federal Reserve notes lose value every day.
I'm worth just that much less every day.
Yeah, it's bullshit. So I'll repeat it. The difference between rich people and poor people is that rich people know there has been this and that. And so the Republic's monetary exchanges, there are a lot of people over there. Dana Samuelson, my friend and my numismatics expert, and I was impressed. Because you had inventory, my friend Jerry Williams was away, and I said, what the heck is going on? That was a long time ago. What's happening, my man? It was ongoing. So that must mean that something is going on, because people prefer to have this rather than that now. And this whole system is fake right now. Take a closer look at how people lie, cheat, and steal. As soon as there's money, liars, cheaters, and thieves appear. And I've been saying that for years.
And I've been saying this for years.
It's God's money. It's counterfeit money. I like Bitcoin. I call it the people's money. I don't know much about Bitcoin, but I'm glad I bought it 6 years ago. That's all I know for now. Actually, you know, we were talking about it the other night, about cash for gold. I'm one of the few people who absolutely despises using cash to buy gold. And you would think the opposite, that I'm eager to have cash, but the banks don't want it. Try to deposit 20 or 50,000 in cash. They'll refuse you and tell you, we have to do this, that, fill out this form, and do this and that, etc. I prefer to have a bank transfer over cash any day. But you know what else I think? Let's say I get $1 million or $2 million in cash that the banks don't want to take. When this currency is rejected, I'll be stuck. Just like people in Germany, twice in the 20th century when they carried wheelbarrows full of Dutch Deutschmark for a basket of groceries.
They were hauling carrying wheelbarrows full of Deutschmarks for a basket of groceries.
And it was fake money that brought Hitler to power. Every time there's fake money, tyrants rise up because people know something is wrong.
And there's fake money, tyrants rise up.
A war without legislation, without public debate. They won the war against cash. They've been fighting cash because it's anonymous. They can't track you. When you use cash, they can't track you. So they won the war. And so the only alternative people have is to be off the grid, not to be tracked, not to be monitored. Gold and silver, that's all.
That's all? Well,
I've talked to plenty of multimillionaires. They sold their business, they did this and that, and they came to the bank with all that cash. They said, well, do you think I should buy gold with some of this money? I said, well, you know what? They make the dollar. You know they keep printing it. They can't print gold. Now tell me how much of that money in the bank you can afford to lose. And I was saying, leave that there and put the rest in gold. It's a bigger risk to have paper money.
eventually, these are going to be worthless.
And of course, you know, the answer is always the same. The government takes all the gold because it wants it for itself. So you're not allowed to have any. That's exactly what they did back then. There were two very good senators, Steve Sims and Jesse Helms, who introduced the idea that Americans should be allowed to own gold because foreigners could own it, but Americans couldn't. And if there's anything good to say about Gerald Ford, it's that he signed the bill after it passed both houses to make gold ownership legal. Unfortunately, at the time, gold was worth about $200 an ounce. And over the course of the following year and months, it dropped to $100. So a lot of the curiosity about owning gold disappeared. But fast forward to the time of Jimmy Carter. In 1976, gold went up to $100, and by the end of Carter's term, it was at $850. Silver rose from around $3 an ounce to $50 an ounce in that 4-year span. I'd be surprised if the paper dollar exists in 10 years. I doubt it. Anyway, we have some serious problems here, and that's the hottest topic right now. For years, I've been saying to buy silver, because everyone can afford it.
Because everybody can afford silver.
Well, we really appreciate everything you do for the freedom movement, Robert. And talking about gold and the fake money we're circulating, that's a great lesson for the next generation. And whether we realize it or not, at our age, and after doing all this for 50 years or more, we have a great legacy to pass on to the next generation. Because they just don't know. And you are a patriot in the true sense of the word. And you are a patriot in the true sense of the word. Thank you for having us. Robert, allow me to say the same thing. Because we are in a very difficult situation in this country, there are tough obstacles to overcome. It didn't have to happen, but now it will. And as bad as it may be for people who understand the lessons you've given and your efforts to educate and teach about money, those who take action based on these kinds of recommendations and who learn these things, they will be so much better off. And the more of them there are, the better off we'll be. We might still be able to trade even if everything is turned upside down.
Commerce still continues.
So thank you, Robert. Yes, what's sad is that the higher the price of gold goes, the poorer everyone else gets. That's what breaks my heart. I love those girls at Safeway who served me their salads and coleslaw and all that. They were amazed. I said $2 for that. But that's what America sold to its people. It sold to the whole world that this has value and that this is fake. But this is real and that is fake. Well, without messing around, banks generally don't want to take cash. And ironically, they don't want to give out cash either. So we've had situations where people wanted to withdraw $100,000 in cash from the bank. They'll say, come back in 3 or 4 days and we'll accumulate it for you. But we don't have it here right now. Where are the funds that belong to us? We don't have to worry about counterfeit bills, although our machines still detect them. But it's a cumbersome thing to do. But I'm looking at the big picture. At some point down the road, that money won't be worth anything anymore. And if the banks don't want to take it as a deposit, I don't want to be stuck with $2 or $3 million in cash and lose them. I'd prefer money in the bank over cash. I mean, fake money, counterfeit money, imaginary money that I can use to buy real silver and real gold and have it on the shelf, rather than cash that's losing value every day. To learn more, Feel free to check out our playlist dedicated to all of Robert Kiyosaki's advice. Thank you so much for watching the video. Consider sharing it with someone who could benefit from it. Take care of yourself and see you soon. We're moving forward together.